It is 6:16. I will call this meeting to order. If everybody would please stand, remove your hats, and we will recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Angie Schreiber. Catherine Solon.
Here.
Abby Maddock.
Here.
Dr. Bardo.
Here.
Bobby Braun.
Here.
Joe Maddock Nelson.
Here.
Kristen Matt Miller.
Here.
JD Schrader.
Here.
Danny Pyatt.
Here. Okay, letter D is our district mission. Catherine, if you will read that, please.
Mission, driven by purpose, guided by integrity, defined by its success. Vision, build a proud Antigo community. Motto, don't talk about it, be about it.
Okay, item number 2, citizens and delegations. Letter A, student representative report. Ashley, you're up.
Hi, everybody. Okay, so
How are you, Ashley?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How are you?
Thank you, great.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'll start off with our club updates. Student Council is wrapping up prom planning. The senior class is hosting a volleyball tournament also to support a local family. Make sure to head out and support that. Art Club is still selling country meat sticks to raise money for future art club activities. German Club got back from their trip to Europe over spring break. There were 11 students who went on the trip, and the trip was a success. Forensics, unfortunately, will have to send in their submissions virtually for their state performances. Due to inclement weather, all forensics competitions were canceled. They, however, had fun in Madison. Literary Journal is still accepting last-minute art pieces and stories and poems. We have 84 pages total, with approximately 50 students being represented. Raise Your Voice had a successful suicide prevention training. They will be hosting April Bingo. NHS will be hosting their banquet on May 20th. FFA is in the process of planning their annual banquet. They are also preparing for upcoming competitions. Our yearbook is having a spring fling sale, with $65 being the price for books. Graphics just finished up printing tickets for graduation, and their next big project is completing our graduation day programs. For our sports updates, softball went 1-1 on the week, losing to top 5 ranked Mosinee on Tuesday. They came from behind to beat Lakeland on Thursday in extra innings. They are working extra hard and showing steady improvement each day. This week, they traveled to top 9 ranked Medford on Tuesday before returning home for a doubleheader against Tomahawk on Thursday. For golf, their season has been delayed by the cold, wet weather that postponed their first meet in Marshfield. Meets for the varsity and JVs will begin during the 3rd week in April. With limited time outdoors and more so on a golf course, early season scores will likely be affected. Baseball had a weather-shortened game on Monday, the 13th, which will be continued when they travel to Mosinee. Currently, the Robins are down 4-0 in the 5th inning. Varsity and JV were able to play on Thursday at Lakeland. Both teams were able to get the win. The first win of the year for the varsity and second win for the JV team. For girls soccer, their program continues to show great growth. 2 years ago, we had very limited members, and now we've doubled our bench this season. We've played 3 games and scored in each one, which is a great sign early on. The team is off to a strong start with consistent goalie play and strong leadership from our juniors. For track and field, they opened on April 14th in Rhinelander. Both teams had a strong and productive meet. The boys recorded several personal bests and continue to show steady progress, while the girls had an impressive night with many personal and season bests. Overall, both teams are improving each meet and building a strong foundation for the season. For our field trips, on April 15th, our seniors attended a Timber Rattlers game in Appleton. And for our finally general high school updates, Senior Portfolio Night was a huge success with our community members, giving positive feedback about our students and the work they've done. And that's all I got for you. Okay?
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ashley.
Thank you.
Okay, letter B is recognition. Mrs. Ojensky. Tonight, we have 3 board members that we would like to recognize. The district extends its sincere gratitude to 3 dedicated Board of Education members as they conclude their service, recognizing their unwavering commitment to supporting students, staff, and the broader school community throughout their years on the board. Their leadership and strong collaboration with district administration were instrumental during a pivotal time, including the successful passage of a historic referendum, which will have a lasting positive impact on our schools. Their focus on continuous improvement helped to drive meaningful gains in student achievement across the district, always prioritizing decisions that supported opportunity, growth, and long-term success for all students. We thank them for their years of service, steady guidance, and deep investment in the future of our schools as they leave behind a lasting legacy of leadership and dedication. At this time, Catherine Solon served a 3-year term. Please come forward for your certificate and a photo op. Up next, Bobby Braun for a 3-year term as well. And J.D. Schrader for 9 years on the board.
JD, I'm going to miss having supper with you. All those board meetings. Bobby, thank you for your time on the board and also your dedication to the district. You have shown your proven wealth and worth to the district. Thank you so much. Catherine, thank you for stepping up and serving this term and all that you have done to fulfill and do a great job with the committees that you also served on. We're going to miss all 3 of you for sure. Letter C, public recognition. I'm sorry, that's public comment. I'm putting 2 together. The presiding officer shall be guided by the following rules according to policy number 0167.3. Public comment shall be permitted before the board takes official action on any issue of substance. Attendees must register their intention to comment in the public portion of the meeting upon their arrival at the meeting. Comments made by the public shall be civil in content and tone, affirming the decorum established for a school board meeting by the school board. Disparaging comments or remarks about school board members, employees, students, positions or position titles, and/or district citizens shall not be made permitted. Comments by the public shall be in reference to a specific agenda item. Participants must be recognized by the presiding officer and will be requested to preface their comments by an announcement of their name and group affiliation if and when appropriate. Each statement made by a participant shall be limited to 5 minutes duration, which there will be a time on the screen. No participant may speak more than once on the same topic unless all others who wish to speak on that topic have been heard. Participants shall direct all comments to the board and not to the staff or other participants. Participants shall address only topics within the legitimate jurisdiction of the board. All statements shall be directed to the presiding officer. No person may address or question board members individually. Letter K, the presiding officer may interrupt, warn, or terminate a participant's statement when the statement is too lengthy, personally directed, abusive, obscene, or irrelevant. Request an individual to leave the meeting when the person does not observe reasonable decorum. Request the assistance of law enforcement officers in the removal of a disorderly person when that person's conduct interferes with the orderly progress of the meeting. Call for a recess or an adjournment to another time when the lack of public decorum so interferes with the orderly conduct of the meeting as to warrant such action. Letter L, the portion of the meeting during which the comment of the public is invited shall be limited to 60 minutes unless extended by a vote of the board. And this is a reminder to the members and the speakers, to the board members and speakers. This is not a conversation between the board and the person speaking at the microphone. The The person at the microphone will be allowed their 5 minutes to speak, and we move to the next person who has signed up to speak. Those are the rules that govern our public comment portion of the meeting. Having said that, once again, if I mispronounce somebody's name, please forgive me in advance. We have 11 people signed up, and as you come up, state your name and the topic that you will be discussing tonight, and then your time will start after you say the name, your name and the topic. First of all, we have Andrew Tainter. Thank you, Andrew.
Thanks for giving me the time to speak tonight. I wanted to specifically address the budget and more specifically the pool that is part of our budget. And I know that you guys are going into potentially a closed session tonight to vote on the sale of the pool. And I wanted to bring attention to a document that I had sent you earlier that unfortunately it was probably too late for you guys to fully review it. But if you check your emails, every single one of you received a proposal that is very detailed on how we can continue to operate the pool without any increase to the budget of the school district, how Fund 10 and Fund 80 work together to allow us to keep this great resource. And it's not going to require you to sell the pool, which is really going to be a disadvantage to the community because, let's face it, it's probably not going to be sold as a pool, so we will lose this resource. So I want to just briefly summarize because for the record, for everyone here and for those of you that didn't get a chance to read my proposal today, I just want to briefly summarize what's in there, and I'm going to just read through some of the points that I have. And they are all pertaining directly to the budget item, how to continue the legitimate usage of the Clara R. McKenna Aquatic Center. First of all, Fund 10 covers the ownership costs. So as a school district, you own the building, you own the facility, and under statute, you're required to maintain that. Now, when we look at whether or not Fund 10 should be used to fund all activities, we don't want to do that. We want most of Fund 10 to be going towards other specific curricular activities, and of course, legally, it cannot be used to fund community activities. However, as a baseline ownership, when you own the pool, you have baseline ownership responsibilities, which fit under Fund 10. Imagine that this building, any building, doesn't need to be the pool, is vacant. That vacant facility, you are legally required to maintain. You have to plow the sidewalks. You have to keep it heated. Those are administrative and maintenance costs that fit right into Fund 10. You're already paying them. It's not a tax increase. It needs to be allocated properly, so there's going to be some work to make sure that those are accounted for. But it does not increase the district's financial burden, does not increase the district's financial time, or the time that's required for that, and it's legal. DPI will allow this. So this is not just fancy accounting work that's going to get us in trouble. It is something that's legit and will legitimately allow the school district to use Fund 10 to cover baseline expenses from administrative work and from maintenance. Secondly, Fund 80 covers the other things such as community programming. Those costs are driven by the public use. Those need to be tracked. Everything needs to be tracked within that. Dozens of school districts that I'm aware of in the northern part of Wisconsin now are doing this very thing. We're not reinventing the wheel. And so those funds are allocated to and tracked specifically for Fund 80. And that segregates both Fund 80 and Fund 10. And this is legal. This is from DPI's rules and from Wisconsin state statutes. And I quoted some of those in the proposal that I sent you. Now, staff can be protected. One of the things that you're concerned about is having two contracts. There's no need to have two contracts. Baseline ownership, they cover baseline maintenance, they cover baseline, this covers baseline administrative fees, whether that's paying electric bills or signing contracts, those types of simple activities. What about the other side of the maintenance? We already have an entity that is doing maintenance for us. The YMCA is already doing that. They've agreed to do it for a limited amount of time. They will continue to do this to help our district out. There's no urgency to making this decision. They will do this for a couple of months. I'm quite sure if you ask them, they will do this. And then that can be negotiated into their future contract. So in summary, this is a choice. If you guys choose to sell this, it will close the pool. If you choose to close the pool, we're going to lose this as an asset to our community. I urge you not to make that decision tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Andrew, I do want to make it known that I did receive your email at 5:38 tonight, and I was trying to peruse it. I don't know if you saw my eyes going up and down, the attachment. So thank you so much for sending all that information to us. Thanks, Dave. Next, we have Tom Koss, and he will be speaking about the donation update.
I'm short, so it's got to be lowered. Thank you for the time. There are approximately 12 of us on the task force that this board appointed at your May 23rd meeting. And as we, March 23rd meeting, sorry. And as we finished our meeting last week, we each said, let's go home, we'll do some homework, and we'll come back with anything we can contribute to solve this problem with the center. So I and some of the other foundation people and some donors in the community spent some time talking about it. So I'm gonna give these to you if that's okay, because they do identify some numbers. There's lots.
Yeah, watch your step, Tom. There's a lot of wires there. Thank you.
Here.
Thanks, Tom. I think Mr. Costa's time should restart. He's already lost over a minute.
Well, thank you.
We can do that. Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Bartle.
And I won't take the whole time. But as you can see, there is the one thing, Section A, we talked about earlier, and that's where one of our community members decided to pay for the fixing of anything that's needing it right now. We talked about grates in the locker room, partitions in the locker room, the front door. Those things should be fixed, and he wants to do that. A new item, number B, means that we will cover. We were told at a meeting, the March 18th meeting, it came up that there's an annual operating deficit of $90,949. The foundation will pay for that for this year. We'll pay for that for next year. We'll go up, we'll account for inflation, and we'll be willing to talk about the number to get more details if needed. C, we have talked with the YMCA. There's some possibility, a real possibility, that they will step in and do the maintenance that Jake had been doing. They will come in and do some of the accounting that the district office has been doing. They will charge more. We will pay for that. So we're thinking up to $100,000 a year, which would be $200,000 over the 2-year period. D, that is the thing where we talk about gathering donations and putting together a fund that will produce money for the operating shortfalls and the capital repairs that are needed in the future. We have a commitment to start with $500,000. We have many community members ready to raise $500,000 more. And once they do that, we will get another $500,000 in matching contributions. So that comes to $1.5 million for the longer term care of the pool. So in addition to so that's $2,020,000 according to our estimates. And those should all be in the foundation and invested within a couple years. I'm thinking within 1 year, most of it. In addition to these new revenues, the YMCA staff has identified and are implementing cost savings. You can see here, they've reduced labor and some benefit costs. They've cut down the costs of some purchased supplies. So far, they've told me it's a little over $45,000 annually that they've taken out of the expense for the aquatic center. So with all that said, we can say that there is no way that taxes need to be increased in our community. And as Steve Bredigan mentioned at one of the task force meetings, let's get a plan to keep this thing going for 2 years. And then during that time, we'll work on the long term. We'll figure out how to keep it going forever. So, thank you.
Tom, thank you so much for that document. Number 3, Jamie, is it Myers? And Jamie will be talking about the Community Aquatic Center.
And I'm shorter. Good evening. All of you as board members publicly said on March 23rd at the board meeting that none of you wanted to see the pool closed. You responsibly formed a task force to supposedly explore options to keep the Clara McKenna Aquatic Center open. The task force members suggested to allow the foundation to raise funds for repairs and establish an endowment fund. The group agreed to adjourn for time to work, with their next meeting scheduled for tomorrow night, Tuesday, April 21st. After establishing this group, are you really not going to give them the opportunity to present their ideas to you? My husband and I have been hardworking members of this community for over 45 years. We have seen the community through many, many donors, some large and some small. They've worked through the years and created the extras that this school district has benefited from, including the Listle track, Ellison Courts, Sheldon Fieldhouse, the Valm Theater, Schofield Stadium, and the Clara McKenna Aquatic Center. My apologies if I have missed any. Exactly what would our district look like if the extras didn't exist? The extras that helped to build this community. If the district closes or sells the pool, there will be no place in Langley County for swimming lessons, school swim education and safety, therapy, swim teams, or club sports, swimming for exercise, pleasure, or for fun. For years, referendums were attempted to consolidate schools on this property or around the high school, because our children would benefit and not have to be bused to utilize all of the extras that the community built for the benefit of all. On January 20th, in the Anago Daily Journal, Jill Maddock Nelson, in her closing sentence, said, "Look at what we've been able to do as a community. And we look forward to what we will provide our students, our staff, and our families moving forward." Before you go into closed session tonight, I ask you to consider this. Are you moving forward if you don't look at all the possibilities? Will closing the Clara R. McKenna Aquatic Center be your legacy? Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. Our next person to speak is Sean Hicks, Board Action 5A, and the pool.
Hello. So as some of you know me, I'm Sean Hicks, as you introduced me. I've got my youngest stepdaughter. She's an Anago Penguin, and I also have 2 of your Red Robin students. So currently, what I wanted to touch on today is I'm going to go pool first and then 5A. I was at the last meeting regarding the pool. I believe it was March 23rd was the date, when you all came into an agreement to put together a task force, and I thought that was a great plan to come up with a way to continue to fund the Clara McKenna Aquatic Center and operating as its founders intended it to be. I touched on my opinion of the school not owning the pool building, or now I would even like to say the land it even sits on. It gives you, as a body, too much liability and too much power you already have over it. I've sat back over the last couple weeks, and from the outside looking in, I'm not seeing any good positive progress or end game for this facility. So that's all I wanted to touch on for that. What I really came to speak about today is the fact that you, and I can't say all of you, as a school board, potentially want to pass a policy change for these teachers that a $7,500 liquidated damages increase, that's not going to keep teachers to stay, or you're not going to have positive teachers. Have any of you as a school board or superintendents approached any of these teachers regarding what is making them want to leave? That was a general question to everybody. I thought we were allowed to ask that.
We can't answer or
Okay.
communicate
Well,
with you. I'm sorry, Sean.
Have you guys approached any of the teachers to see what's going to make them stay? Because $7,500 and them deciding if they're going to take a family vacation or buying out their contract to get out of a toxic work environment, not all of them can afford that, especially with a 21% increase on some of their mortgages from that. You guys did a great, awesome thing with this new school, but I believe more can be done to retain these teachers. I think we're looking at it maybe as a community and as a board the wrong direction. To keep them, here's $7,500. If you want to leave, that's what you have to pay. Find better solutions and alternatives. What is the problem that is making you all want to leave? And that last meeting I attended, or it may have been the one before that I watched that was recorded, Jill made a comment that we're not going to go down as a school board that built a $60 million school facility. We're going to go down as a school board that closed the aquatic center. What will happen? You guys will go down as the school board that built a $60 million facility, and no teachers will be available to teach in it because of the environment that they're working in currently. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Okay, yes, ma'am. Okay, let the record reflect, Deanna, that at 6:44, Angie Schreiber is part of the meeting. Angie, are you hearing this meeting? Okay, thank you. Our next speaker is Paula Royce, and she's coming to talk about the Clara R. McKenna Aquatic Center.
Good evening. I've lived in this community nearly 20 years. I never imagined I would be standing here today saying what I'm about to say. I am a parent, a former district employee, a community member, and somebody who has always supported our teachers, staff, and families. But for the first time since living here, I have felt compelled to enroll my children into another district. That decision did not come easily. It came from a repeated pattern of mistrust and a growing sense that the administration is not acting in the best interest of our students and our community. I know what responsible leadership looks like. I've spent my life serving others. I've worked with many different populations, volunteered countless hours, and poured my heart into programs that have supported kids and community. What we are experiencing now is not responsible leadership. I have dedicated several years of my life to the Antigo Swim Club, coaching, fundraising, organizing, volunteering, and doing everything I can to give our youth a place to grow, to learn discipline, and to build confidence. The pool is more than a building. It is a lifeline for many kids in the community. I now sit on the task force created to save the Aquatic Center. I showed up, I collaborated in good faith, I believed our voices, expertise, and our commitment to the community would matter. But what seems to be happening behind the scenes is telling a very different story. Decisions are being made without clarity. Concerns are being dismissed. Input from us, from those of us who use and support the facility are being ignored. And instead of working with the community, the administration and some board members seem to be pushing forward with their own agenda, one that does not reflect the conversations we had or the solutions we're working towards. That is not collaboration. That is not leadership, and it is deeply disheartening. I am not here to attack anyone. I am here because I care about this district, about our kids, and about the future of this community. I am here because trust has been broken and because families, staff, and volunteers deserve honesty, respect, and clarity from the people making decisions on their behalf. I hope you take these concerns seriously. I hope you reflect on the impact choices being made are having on real families and real children. And I hope you remember that your responsibility is to the people you serve, not to predetermined agendas or behind-the-scenes decisions. Thank you.
Thank you, Paula. Our next speaker is Maureen Winter, and she's coming to speak about donations.
My name is Maureen Winter, and I'm a long-term resident of Antigo and a current member of the Remington Foundation, and I thank you for this opportunity. Mr. Remington graduated from Antigo High School, class of 1932, and was a successful businessman. Al was not afraid of any type of labor and worked hard all of his life. Al was a saver. Some would say he was downright frugal. He spent his money wisely, saved, and invested. Fortunately for all of us, Al saw the value in giving back to the community. In 1988, the Remington Foundation was formed with the goal of giving back to communities that supported his business, plain and simple. The Remington Foundation has been a longtime supporter of Antigo School District and its related activities, youth scholarships, and public improvements. The foundation board has 7 members with strong ties to the area. We have been able to give over $250,000 annually to Antigo and surrounding communities because of one man's vision. Some details about the foundation. Every year we give in 3 distinct categories. Fire departments. 19 local fire departments are provided with thousands of dollars annually so they may purchase equipment. Scholarships. The graduates of White Lake, Elko, Wittenberg, and Antigo are annually awarded scholarships. This year alone, Antigo will be awarded $40,000 from this foundation for scholarships, including those attending Antigo campus of NTC. Al realized the trades are vital in this small town, with hopes that our youth can become mechanic, welders, nurses, and ultimately live and work in Antigo. Public improvements and grants. This is our largest amount of giving. We review grant applications annually, and our recipients are well known to you. Over the years, these have included Langlade County, the City of Antigo, NTC, Boys and Girls Club, Salvation Army, Historical Society, Senior Center, Weekend Backpack, and the list goes on and on. So you see how this works? It's partnerships. We look for organizations that exhibit collaboration in the spirit of working for community betterment. Those who do not embrace this spirit are not given the same consideration of others when grants are assessed. A great portion of our grants have been given to Antigo School and school-related activities. Some examples include Gridiron Club, Antigo Swim Club, tennis courts, Wurz Greenhouse, Noboken School Forest, Antigo Band Booster, Dugout Club, AH Culinary Kitchen, Antigo Phillies, Blue Line Club, AH Woodshop, Kretz Park, and the McKenna Aquatic Center. And we have given to these entities on repeated basis. I think it's fair to say that the Remington Foundation is vested in our youth. We have supported the district and its activities so our students can succeed and compete. We supported the building of Kretz Park baseball diamonds, knowing this wasn't just for high school baseball. We knew it would also support our local community. Tournaments for baseball, hockey, swim meets, etc., bring in revenue to this area. So you see how this works? Again, partnerships. The Remington Foundation is not alone. There are other foundations, businesses, and individuals who have given their hard-earned money to help Antigo schools not only survive, but also hopefully thrive. And you see these names all over the school: Sheldon, McKenna, Drager, Suick, Listel, Shinners, VG, Wagner, Valm, Covantage, and I apologize to those I have not mentioned, but my time is limited. There's a lot of you out there. It seems obvious to me the school district needs support from the community to supplement the district. Additionally, we need Fund 80 to help accomplish this, and has been for many years an appropriate avenue to provide the needed funds. We have foundations, businesses, and individuals who want to help see this through. Again, partnership. Being an elected official, you are in a leadership role. You have a challenge before you, and your recommended action is to bail out versus building partnerships with your community. It's the same community that supported you. Good leaders have the humility to listen. Their requests for suggestions are genuine, and they are sincere in seeking solutions. Good leaders don't hastily give up something worthwhile. Please be good role models for our leaders, for the youth and of this community. We are all here to help. Thank you.
Thank you, Maureen, and also for providing that for us in print. That is very nice. Thank you. The next person speaking is Michael Hunter, and he will be speaking on the Aquatic Center.
Good evening. I'm Michael Hunter. My wife will attest this is the last place I wanted to be, but because of what I've seen going on in the community, specifically with the school district, I have to speak up. I'm a lifelong resident of Antigo, and I'm one of the owners of Valm Companies. We've been in this community for 72 years. We're one of the largest, if not the largest, private employer, and we are a major taxpayer in this community as well. What I'm asking the school board simply to do is listen to the constituents here. The Aquatic Center has been an asset for the last couple decades in this community. It's hard enough as an employer to attract and retain good employees in small communities. But when you have assets like a great high school, a new elementary school, a wonderful hospital, and an aquatic center, it makes it significantly easier for employers. If the Aquatic Center closes and employers like Valm can't get employees, you start a community death spiral, because employers like us, we start leaving. For every one manufacturing job, 3 service jobs go with it. That's a statistic I was given by the city, so think of that. Think of the businesses that closed when Brunswick went out of business, those 75 jobs. That put a hurt on our community. We want to build this community up, and you have a lot of community members here that spoke who are willing to donate and give to help push this off. So I'm simply asking the board to do the right thing. Listen to your constituents. 2 weeks ago from tomorrow, your constituents spoke very loudly. They want change. They want to see change. They don't like what's going on. There's significant mistrust between the community and the school board and administration. And when you do things like you form a task force, and then less than a month later, you're going to go into closed session and sell the building or talk about it, that creates more mistrust with the community. Normal school boards, well, most school boards, many across the state, do the right thing. They put the new school board members on this meeting. Not legally, they don't have to legally, but they do because they want to listen to their constituents. Seeing that you didn't do this, or were unwilling to, whatever it may be, I'm just asking that you postpone and table any decisions regarding anything final for the aquatic center till the new school board can come on, get up to speed, get integrated with the task force, and then let them take it. You have a lot of short-term funding that can get you, I think Tom Cost said, out to 2 years. That buys 2 years of time. Let that take place and let it happen. That's all I request. Listen to your constituents and table any major decisions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike, for making those comments. Our next speaker is Paul Grendy. Paul, I know I butcher your name every time I say it. Close enough.
People are tall.
And Paul's going to be speaking about the pool as well.
Yes. My name is Paul Grendy, and I'm among the many people in this community and businesses that contributed to the establishment of this pool. Over the last 20 years, this pool has provided an opportunity for children to learn how to swim, entertainment for kids and adults, and in many cases for them to improve their health. I was always very proud when my grandchildren came from Arizona to swim in Grandpa's big pool. Recently, the board decided that they were unaware of the cost of the pool, how the accounting is handled, and the pending repairs. To me, that's on the board and administration. Board should not be surprised. Board meetings are not surprise parties. You should not have been surprised. I understand that the administration was not willing to meet with the advisory committee. In fact, disbanded it. That's not called listening. And I hear that, the board says they want to keep the pool. Your actions don't see that. I don't pretend to know how to run a pool. Got no idea. But there's a lot of people in this room that do. We need to listen to them. We heard about the task force and the fact that it's not gotten complete financial records. I've been involved in a lot of businesses over the years and worked with a lot of businesses. There's no reason that you can't have good financial records. Yeah, they're different, maybe. School districts are different than other businesses, but there are lots of different kinds of businesses. That's your job, is to figure out how to keep good records. Listening to Jamie Myers made me realize that if somebody made a donation to the pool and now that money gets misused, how many donations am I going to make in this community? One of the things I've always been impressed with, projects that the community believes in, they donate to. But if they're concerned, is this money going to be used properly? I'll donate something where I can trust. It'll only take a few minutes to destroy the pool. It'll take a generation to replace it. So my point is very simple. Because of the amount of money that's been invested in this pool and knowing its impact on the community, you owe it to the community to make decisions based on complete information and then explain those decisions in a way the community can understand and agree with. At this point, you don't have all the information to make a sound decision, so the only right decision to make is how do we gather more information so that we can make a correct decision and explain it to the community.
Thank you, Paul. Our next speaker is Steve Meyer, and he's going to be speaking about the pool.
I don't know if I can top what's been said. It's pretty obvious. Show of hands, who wants to sell the pool? Enough said. Okay, Steve Meyer, concerned Langlade County resident. Happened to also been appointed to this task force. If you were here last week, I called us dysfunctional.
Hey, Steve, you want to direct to the board,
I work
please?
for them too. I will. Yep, I will. No
That's part of the
disrespect.
policy.
Yep, okay. First off, I want to thank the school board for your accomplishments, your student achievement, your scores, and I genuinely mean that. You've done a lot of good things, the new school. I think sometimes what we do is important, but how we do it's more important. I'm asking you tonight to please reconsider this closed session, and as everyone says in the room, let's leverage the task force, not just Let's just not say you have a task force and have someone go out without task force approval, submit a survey and fake book, and only provide 3 of the 6 pre-existing conditions that haven't been adequately researched. I've been played, as is Tom Bachnick, the city mayor. We were asked to appoint people to be in this task force, thinking it'd be like our task force when we represented the county and the city with the library. We sat back, we asked for subject matter experts, we sat down, looked at what was our goal, what was our objective, how can we engage the public, and how can we come up with some options. And then we asked people the cost, pros and cons, and timeline. I believe you're premature tonight to come up with this plan. You're throwing the baby out with the bathwater. I asked specifically last week if we could get on the agenda tonight to talk about 3 short-term immediate benefits. One is to leverage Mr. Schinner's financial insight to help us make some maintenance improvements to the facility, to address some strategic safety concerns. That's not on the agenda. Number 2, I asked if we could submit a fund for some dollars for the month of June. Received approval, wanted to make sure it was appropriate to have school board authorization. I'm assuming that's okay. No answer. That's not how you run a meeting. And the third thing was we asked if we could kick this down the road another year. I'm sorry, if we could ask the YMCA. I hope the YMCA is here tonight because we're blessed for their leadership and their support. We asked if we could have more consideration from the school board, if we could extend that YMCA. I believe the extension is May 31st. We would like another 6, 9, 12 months of runway to work with the YMCA to continue to manage this facility. That's not on the agenda. So you've misled me, you've misplayed me, you've abused our role and our authority, and I'm hesitant if I want to be on a dysfunctional task force if we're not given the power. You've neutered us. So you're playing with us, and it's not acceptable. As leaders, you need to listen to your constituents. You good? Good. I'm not. I'm not good at all. I work for these people. They're paying taxes. They're paying our wages. They're making decisions. The EDC did a study. When you built the pool, 8 families came here. You do the economic impact and the annual benefit of that. As Mr. Hunter said, for every 1 manufacturer job, there's 3 service jobs. Every family that moved in is about $15,000 a year of economic impact. You do the math over 20 years. So I think you're short-minded, short-sighted, and you need to reconsider this. And I appreciate, again, you're in a thankless position, but I think you're making poor decisions and you're not listening to the constituents. And you should be ashamed of yourself if you have that topic tonight and you make the decision to sell. Shame on you.
Thank you, Steve. Our next speaker for tonight is Elena Zock. Thank you.
Hello, for those of you who don't know me, I am Alina Zock, a junior on the Anago varsity swim team. Okay, here we go. So imagine you're a parent and you're paying for your child's, I don't know, say sports, dance class, something like that. Okay, and this child loves it. Now, all of a sudden, the money isn't going exactly where it should. And now you might not be able to pay for these classes. But, I mean, that's really hard because, you know, your child loves these classes. Now, are you really going to take away something that this child loves, their pride and joy, for something, a mistake that you made as the person in charge of the money, I guess? They shouldn't even be involved, right? Now, the scenario, from my understanding, isn't too different from the financial issues with the aquatic center. You are the parents, and the entire community is the child. To my understanding, the school board doesn't want to pay to keep the aquatic center open since it's technically a community building. If that's the case, however, I feel that the school should pay a decent portion of the funds because the school plays a huge role in this community. As a school, I shouldn't even say that, as a family, because that's what we really are. And you know what families do? They help each other. And they help each other around and the community, everything. The school is part of the family in the whole community. In my analogy before, I brought up, or I actually didn't, but I was supposed to bring up making sacrifices for the greater good. It's no secret that the school district has money. It's just going elsewhere. You know, for example, we got football, we got volleyball, whatever, you name it. That's none of my business even. But why is it that we can't take money from a stable part of the school, such as football, volleyball, whatever you want, right, and put it towards this pool? Because, okay, the pool is at stake, is my understanding. So why is it that we can't take a little bit of the extra money from a stable place and bring it to the pool, just save it and balance it out for however long we can? The Aquatic Center is loved by the entire community and used mostly by the school. Therefore, the school should make sacrifices to keep it. This should have happened before the community was involved at all. You wouldn't put it on your child to keep dance classes because you made a mistake, so don't put it on the community to keep our wonderful Aquatic Center open. I mean, heck, this is a little bit of a different note, but personally, I have siblings, okay? And I got to do varsity swim for the first time this year. I'd come home, and geez, it was the sweetest thing ever. I'd get home and they'd be like, cousin, you know what? What happened today? Did you learn something new? Did you get faster? Anything? And every day I got to say yes, because I have a coach and a team and a whole family that was absolutely amazing. And I can't lose that. Not only for myself, but that shows that the younger generation cares. They just show it in a different way. And that's not just me. I know many other people who have a situation just like that. I brought up that this is my first year on varsity swim. That's because I recently moved up here, and there was no option like this. This pool is an amazing option for everybody. And I wrote down here, I felt like I went from dirt to gold. Because, geez, we had this stuff. We have opportunities like the Aquatic Center that allow us to have swim teams, clubs, lessons, all of it. And taking it away, it takes away a lot of that gold. It might turn it back into dirt. And I don't think that'd be a very good idea. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Elena, for speaking those words. Our final person to sign up is Charlie Zanayad, and he will be coming to speak about the Aquatic Center.
Hello, my name is Charlie Zanayad, and this is the first school board meeting I've attended. I wish it was under...
Welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, I wish it was under different circumstances. I have the joy of being able to serve at Covantage Credit Union, and Covantage has always been a mission-focused organization. And so when I heard your mission about serving with integrity and with purpose, I'm glad to hear that is the goal. Covantage has always been a mission-focused organization, and we've been generous. And Covantage started right here in Antigo. We now serve 185,000 member owners. We've also always been a generous organization, and so when the Aquatic Center was built, Covantage made a donation to help build the Aquatic Center. Covantage Cares, which we formed 10 years ago, has given $5 million throughout the communities we serve, and a large portion of that is right here in Antigo. About half of our employees live in Langlade County. And so I can't say better than what everybody else has already said in terms of the impact that the Aquatic Center makes in this community. It is critical to the community, and rather than rehashing what everybody else has said, I'll say My wife and I have, we're blessed with four children, and all 4 kids have been part of the swim team. And we have 2 kids on the swim club now, and our swim club is a gem among swim clubs. When we go to meets all throughout the country, we have fantastic swimmers. We have an environment that is positive. We have great coaches. We have volunteer coaches. And this community is a generous community. My family has lived here for 13 years, and the generosity of the community never ceases to amaze me. It is remarkable how generous this community is. If this is a money issue, I think the money issue can be solved very easily. If it's not a money issue, I'm not sure what the issue is. But the aquatic team is the swim club and the athletics that we have around that is a gem in the community. This school has the potential to be a gem in the community, and we need to do better. So I thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak.
Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Charlie, and come back to any and all meetings that you can attend. Okay, moving on to item 3, consent agenda. Letter A, approval of agenda, minutes, financial reports, report of district new hires, and report of resignations and retirements. I will be looking for a motion.
I move to amend the agenda to move item 7.8C, the potential sale of 111 Western Ave, out of the closed session and into Section 5, board action as item L. I believe the community has a right to hear the initial deliberations regarding the disposal of district property at 111 Western Ave before we enter any private negotiations.
We can do that in just a moment, but we need a motion first.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Bobby, I think you were going to give a motion.
I move the board approve the agenda, March 19th, 2026, special called board meeting minutes, March 23rd, 2026, Board of Education meeting minutes, March 23rd, 2026, joint HR, Finance, and Building and Grounds meeting minutes, April 13th, 2026, committee meeting minutes, report of district new hires, report of resignations and retirements, financial reports for March 2026 and April 2026, consideration of current bills, checks number 9630 through 9691 in the amount of $253,036.85, ACHs number 252601141 through 252601252 in the amount of $792,029.36, and wire transfers in the amount of $11,065.08 for a total of $1,056,131.29.
Bobby, you made the motion. Is there anything you'd like to say to the motion?
Only that I believe the donation report is not attached and could be found lower item on the item K. So there's a little discrepancy in the way the motion reads. I'm sorry, it doesn't say donations. It says new hires, resignations, and retirements. So it's fine. No further comment.
Okay, thank you. Abby, to entertain what you're asking for, that cannot be moved out of closed session, and I'll tell you the reason why.
Okay.
The reason why it cannot be moved out of closed session is, let me state it very clear tonight, we are not voting to sell the pool tonight. It is not going to happen. So what is happening tonight in closed session is our attorney will be on the phone with us. If we were going to vote to close the pool tonight, why would we have our meeting on Tuesday night with the task force? So we're not voting to close the pool tonight. What we're doing is discussing with the attorney, in the event that the possibility of the sale later at a later date comes, we're talking numbers. And JD and I was on the board whenever a family came and approached the board several years ago about buying a lot next to their home on Delaglese. And our attorney, Davis and Dean, said we cannot talk about that in open session because you're dealing with numbers about how much we would sell something for or how little the load number would be. So we went into closed session. JD, do you remember, in the Vaughan Theater? And Dean, and Jill, you were on the board. And I'm sorry I missed you. And Jill and Dr. Bardo was on the board at that time. Bobby, were you the admin assistant? Okay, I don't think so. But anyhow, Davis and Dean came, and we talked about the discussion of if we were to sell this property, this would be the highest number that we would list that property for, and this would be the lowest number. Because of property, help me, Dr. Bardo, because of property negotiations, you would not want to say what your low number is and what your high number is in public. Obviously, the high number would be there, but the low number would not come out. So let it be very crystal clear. Cameras are rolling tonight. We are not voting to close the pool tonight in closed session. It's just discussion of what we can do in closed session with our attorney present, okay? So that's the reason that we cannot.
Can we still
bring it.
table it for next month, though, so you have the new board members?
It is on the agenda for tonight. We can,
Okay, so can I motion to table till next month, the whole closed session?
you would have to wait until we go into closed session, then we can discuss that. Because you're trying to table something that's in closed session, and we can't do that in open session. Okay? Any other discussion of the motion on the floor?
I need to abstain from ACH 252601186.
Deanna, let the record reflect that check number 252601202, I need to abstain from.
Got that.
Yeah, and I'm only going to give you the last four, 1157.
Correct.
Any other discussion of the motion that is on the floor?
I just want to say that it's concerning that we have 6 teachers on the resignation list.
I just wanted to share my appreciation that you made that motion and allowed the subsequent feedback regarding the agenda item. I think that's really helpful. It was for me, so I appreciated that. And so that's all my comment is I think that is helpful for all here, and I think there's a significant amount of reassurance in that explanation, so thank you.
Thank you. Any other question or discussion of the motion on the floor?
Did they actually say, like, when we did the house sale, it was actually a negotiation, but that didn't have to be private, it's just not very smart. If
Well-
it's not, it could theoretically be public.
They approached us about purchasing that lot. So we had to determine what was our high number that we were going to sell that for and what would be the lowest that we would sell that for. And as all of us are aware, we voted that night not to sell that lot on Delaglease.
Okay.
Okay.
Good
question.
Did somebody approach us with the purchase offer?
Of the building? No. Any other questions or discussion of the motion on the floor? Hearing no questions or discussion, your voting device is now open. Please make sure that your name is on the back of your device. Angie, how would you like to vote? And Nathan will record that.
Yes.
Thank you. Can we pass her device to Nathan? JD, now you get to see what happens whenever you wasn't
I
here.
was curious.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be a lot better to vote by typing it in.
Would anyone like to change your vote? All right, the vote is now closed. And the motion carries. Item number 4, administration reports. I will turn it over to our superintendent, Mrs. Oginski.
To save time, we are going to just identify that all directors are present if there are questions about any of the reports, and move to the Director of Curriculum and Instruction, as we have a video link to share with the board regarding Leader in Me.
Go ahead, Mrs. Stutchring.
So I wanted to bring a video tonight because at committee, we kind of talked through the Leader in Me program of how it builds leadership and characteristics in our students, combines the empowerment of our staff and our families to be a part of that learning, builds characteristics for our students that are lifelong around grit, perseverance, taking ownership of my learning and my behavior, and some of those other pieces. I found a video from the company because I think it's only 3 minutes, just to show how Leader in Me can affect a culture and community of a school and how it influences students in a way that it's not just me saying it, but an actual testimonial from another school that has implemented to the full effect and has become what they call a lighthouse school, which is the top of the program, reasoning that they have implemented it to full implementation around all the components. So.
When I became principal, Dr. O'Shield said, your goal is to figure out what Eastside wants to be when they grow up.
Having been in education 44 years, I have seen a transformation, and I think that's where Eastside has set itself apart. You don't go from average to excellent just because you're lucky.
When we first moved here, I was asking the community about which school I should enroll my students in. Overwhelmingly, I got Eastside. With Leader in Me, it is more than just about developing academics. It's really about bringing out the best in every student.
Having a Leader in Me role helped me be more involved in the school. It's just helped me make myself a better person.
Students having a purpose and a value for coming to school, whether it's a school-wide leadership role, whether it's clubs. There are so many opportunities that have opened up because of Leader in Me. They want to come to school.
When you give these students a voice, it builds this amazing culture. And that culture, when you take the community, the family, and the school, and they all work together, you naturally see these academics grow to something that we didn't even know was possible for this school to grow to.
And we've seen an 84% growth in students that are meeting or exceeding proficiency in ELA, and a 75% growth of students who are meeting or exceeding proficiency in math. Our scale score for the state assessment has increased 51 points over the last 3 years, which is more than 100% growth. We are seeing our students perform at levels that they've never performed at from this area.
We don't see Leader in Me as another thing. It becomes sort of the cement between the bricks.
And we've been given the tools to see that every single kid has a place, and whatever part that is matters and is important.
When they truly internalize the habits and they see themselves as a leader, then I think it's no longer adults telling them, you can do this. It's them telling themselves that they can do it. They know that they have the skill set and toolbox to really be able to tackle anything that comes their way and do it with confidence.
And that's powerful, because that's what sticks with you forever. For Brant, he did not enjoy reading. He didn't even enjoy going to school. There was just a frustration about him, and now I never hear my kids say that they don't enjoy coming to school. And bottom line, the difference is there was no Leader in Me before. There is a Leader in Me now. I think we can only dream that these students will take these things that they have learned and be the leaders in the world that we so desperately want to see.
Okay, are there any questions for Mrs. Wojcinski or any of the building admin? Okay, hearing no questions, we'll move to item number 5, board action. Letter A, consideration to approve the revised teacher contract, language only. I will be looking for a motion, please.
I move to approve the revised teacher contract language only as presented.
We have a motion on the floor before us. We will remember all of our discussion is around the motion that is on the floor. Deanna, could you please let the record reflect that I will recuse myself from any discussion as well as the vote that will be taken later. Dr. Bardo, would you like to speak to your motion?
Sure. Well, this is about the breakage of our contracts by teachers. It has been recommended to the board to increase it from 4,000 to 7,500. One of the reasons that is given, because every time we lose a teacher, it costs about $20,000 to replace them. Now, this is not, I said at the last board meeting, or at our committee meeting, and I did say this. I said, I can remember when Act 10 was approved. I was the superintendent at the time. And what that did is that took away from the teachers' union the ability to negotiate their contracts with the administration and the school board. And that's the way it's been since then. It's been about 25 years. And what I said, and it made it to one of our media center type places that I said teachers are free agents because of that. And I truly mean that and I'm a big baseball fan, and I see teachers as free agents. They have the ability to go to any school in this state or any other state if they want to. But here's what I also said. Every teacher in this district who worked for us last year will be issued a contract. No one was non-renewed. There will be some who resign and have taken other jobs or retired. But we are showing faith in our teachers. We have asked every one of them to return. Tomorrow they'll receive a document that is a contract between us and them. And we want every one of them to sign that contract. And we want them to stay with us and teach our kids because we believe in the teachers we have. However, a contract is a contract. As a former superintendent and as a board member, when we issue these contracts, if they sign them, our expectation is that they are going to be teaching our kids in the 26-27 school year. Because that's what we want them to do. Now, I will give you an example. We had a teacher in one of our grades this past year who quit during the school year, paid the $4,000 breakage clause, and they started to bring in substitute teachers. And the substitutes kind of decided, as it was too hard for them, we used one of our coaches. And eventually, because other grades were losing coaching time, 5 additional students were placed in all the first grades, increasing 5 more kids to deal with, to score papers, whatever. It was not only not good for the teachers, but it was also not good for the students. Going into a different classroom and at the same time being in a bigger classroom. So one of the things I'm going to recommend is that we don't have a stratus, a different stratus for what they pay when they leave, because no matter what, if they sign their contract tomorrow, turn it in, and 2 weeks later they go to DC Everest, we now have to find another teacher. Glenda, how many teachers truly I know it was put out that there's 30 vacancies. How many is it as of today?
Currently, we have 8 positions.
So we have 8 positions open. It's not 30 that was stated at an earlier board meeting. We're not trying to get rid of teachers. We're trying to keep the ones that we have here. And if they leave anytime from now until the start of the school year or within the school year, it's a disservice to this community if they leave, because they have a choice this week. They can sign their contract and make us feel that, okay, they're going to be here. Or they can choose not to, become a free agent and try to get a job in another school. But I want to make it crystal clear, and I've said it 3 times. Everyone who taught here last year that once, who didn't retire or who have already left, we are offering a contract to them. And we expect, if they sign that contract, that they are going to teach our kids. Because we, as a board and as an administration, want those teachers to stay with us. So that's where I'm at.
Okay, any other discussion or questions on the floor?
Yes.
Abby?
Leaving in the middle of the school year is very different from leaving in June. I think no teacher wants to leave their kids high and dry in the middle of the classroom, and yes, there should be a very big penalty for that because kids are hurting. In June, the school district has ample time to find someone. I also am really curious about the breakdown of this $20,000 to onboard a new teacher. So can somebody give me that?
So I'm the finance person, so that's where I come into this. We have to track all of our onboarding and term finances to help us understand how much it costs. And that's how a liquidated damages amount is calculated, so that it's not just coming from thin air of whatever we want to charge. Professional development is your training and your onboarding for your staff every year, and that calculates to about $10,000. Sub costs are dependent as to when the person leaves and when they are replaced, so that varies between position. I know that you stated that June is different than the beginning of the year. Our HR team has been visiting area and statewide job fairs for many, many months already, and positions are already being filled for many months. So if somebody signs a contract and then breaks it in June, then that's an additional several months that we have to post that position and fill it, which when we begin in August, that's really not that much time to fill. So that could also result in sub costs. So part of those onboarding are also just onboarding procedures that we have for pre-screening and things of that nature. So those things are all tracked, as well as how much it costs to interview, how much it costs our IT team to onboard, how much it costs our HR team to onboard, and then to term as well.
Thank you.
Any other questions or discussion?
I would
Kristen?
just like to state that I've been on the board for some years now, and we have been approached multiple times where a situation would occur that a teacher has left and they've asked us to waive their liquidated damages. And I can only think of maybe one time when we did not do that. So when things come up, you have to move or someone falls ill or whatnot, there are situations where this is waived. And in those extreme circumstances, in my time on the board, have always voted to do that. I also would agree with Abby that it does, in my opinion, make a difference whether you're leaving in June or in the middle of the school year. We're here for the kids, and that effect on those children where they're finally maybe finding a bond with an adult and now they're left again, I cannot fathom doing that as a teacher leaving in the middle of the year. So I would like to see two different numbers. I don't know if that date is July 1st or if that date is August 1st. But I would think that the 4,000 could remain prior to that date, and the 7,500 after that is what I would like to see.
Are you proposing an amendment to the motion that is on the floor?
I would like input of what that date would be.
When is the date they have to sign the contract? Like, how long do they have once we issue it to them?
So,
9 days from tomorrow. A week.
A week. And what's the statutory deadline for when it has to be done?
The state statute is June 15th, but that means that as a district, we have to operate within those statutes. It doesn't mean that we can't adopt our own procedures.
I was looking at other districts' liquidated damages to just gather information the best I could. Wausau does a tiered approach of 3 different timeframes, actually, with 3 different amounts, so it would be consistent. I did try and find amounts for Merrill School District. In their handbook and in their policies, their amount for liquidated damages is not listed. However, in their policies, it is stated that is essentially that Merrill School District will issue a check for that new employee to pay a former district. So the other districts paying, Merrill School District's paying the liquid damages. And Rhinelander I could find nothing on, nor Wittenberg-Burnhamwood. So I was responding first to a tiered approach, and then I did have a question of how many staff members, if we have this number, how many staff members have paid liquidated damages versus how many other school districts have paid on behalf of the individual?
I don't know that number right offhand. We would have to do some research to see what those numbers are.
Do we pay the liquidated damages when we steal a teacher?
Correct. Most school districts do. It's just swapping money.
Which is an additional expense that I actually didn't calculate in that, so that could be an additional piece that costs our district a significant amount of money. So that's a really good point, JD. I should definitely look into that and put that on our document of what it costs when we onboard or term a staff member, because that would be an additional amount of money to the $22,000 to $32,000.
I was thinking about it the other way, because, I don't know.
Well, if you're onboarding a staff member that has liquidated damages from another district, you're paying an additional $4,000 for that staff member to come.
Jill, would you agree that Wausau still isn't at 4,000?
No, it's not. I would also hope that we would unanimously agree that the importance is ensuring that we have teachers that want to be here and want to teach and fulfill a school calendar year, so that our students, because that's our priority, really. I mean, when we talk about this isn't something that's supposed to be negative towards teachers or anything other than simply wanting to ensure that a commitment is made to the students of the Unified School District of Vandago, and that we have a first grade teacher, and I'm not picking a first grade teacher, I just think that was a grade level that was used in an example, but that we have staff that are showing up on the first day that staff report and they're finishing out their contract. No different than if you add an addition onto your home, I'm certain that there's a contract signed in which that builder or contractor is now obligated to a time frame, a cost, and you expect them to fulfill that contract because it's really important. You don't want to go with the side of your home having an interior wall exposed, right? Like, just, you expect the contract to be fulfilled. So at the end of the day, this is about ensuring that our students have high-quality instructors who are reliable and showing up every day.
Any other questions or discussion?
To Kristen's point, so what's a decent date? So if we stick with 4,000 until June 1st, and then on August 1st or August 15th or start of the school year, we bump the amount up, what's a reasonable date?
I will tell you, August is way too late. You can hang it up. Because the people who left primarily after the school year started were late August hires. And many times when you're looking at an applicant pool, those people have already been passed over from other districts. And they may not be the strongest person that we want to put in front of our students. And we're all very passionate about the importance of having good teachers in front of every student. Dr. Bardo was sharing the incident that happened at one of our elementaries that put 5 more students in that classroom. Never is it ever a good idea to have 25 6-year-olds in a classroom. First grade is a very prominent foundation year where kids learn the application of reading skills, and having that many students, plus while those students have had substitute after substitute after substitute, the kids are the ones who miss out. This is not about punishing adults. It's about protecting our students, and it's about protecting our teachers who stay in the district, because it becomes a burden on them. Because this person has left, and another person has left, now the remaining staff have to pick up that load of the duties, the supervision, larger class sizes. It's a domino effect. So again, it's not meant to hurt people who are choosing to leave the district. It's to protect the staff that stay and our students primarily.
I just want to clarify something too. It's not if you choose to leave, it's if you choose to sign a contract and then break your contract. Staff can definitely choose to leave for any type of reason, absolutely, and we would support anyone in that decision if that's what's best for their family. It's when you sign the contract and then you are basically saying, I'm going to be here, you don't have to post that position, and then break it. And as Kristen said, it's not for an illness, it's not for an extreme situation that happens, because those can be waived by the board and have been.
Is there any way that we could extend the 5 days so that people can really make a better decision? I mean, 5 days seems very quick.
Everybody knows that their contracts are coming due. How many days do you need to decide, oh, I'm not going to be in the district anymore? How long do you need? I mean, you've just finished out the year. If it's a toxic work environment, you know that you want to get out of there.
Well, you still have to find a new job first, so.
Well, yes, but I would bet that many people, many teachers who want to get out of the district are already out there with their resumes.
You're right.
I mean, we could consider adding the addition which Wausau School District does have, which is the teacher must give such notice at least 60 calendar days prior to the date, and then the payment is expected. Liquidated damages are due to the district with the 60 calendar day notice as within the tiered time frame. So I think also that's an important factor of just looking at comparables and what other districts do. 60 days is pretty considerable. When you look at, can we extend the time frame to review and determine if you're going to sign a contract, and then you talk about breaking that contract in a 60-day notice with liquidated damages at the same time, perhaps that's something we want to explore, maybe not. I would agree with Glenda that I think August is too late. We are seeking to maintain the momentum of the academic achievement that we have made a strong trajectory on, and we'd like to continue that. We want the best opportunity, or the opportunities to have the most qualified applicants as soon as possible. So I would say August is too late.
How about July 1st?
July 1st or with a 60-day notice.
How would the notice work exactly?
60 days from whenever the contract came out.
Well, wouldn't that be like in December, you tell them you're leaving in February, 60 days?
I have a question, Danny.
Bobby, go ahead.
Sorry if I'm interrupting. If we are paying liquidated damages to other districts in the amount of 4,000 per se, and if we're receiving liquidated damages in the amount of 4,000 also, what is the significance exactly of the 7,500?
So it's costing our district additional money in
So-
addition to that $4,000.
Okay,
I
so-
hadn't even calculated that into the $22,000 to $32,000 loss for the district.
So with the 7,500, we're simply just trying to cover more of our costs as far as onboarding?
Yeah, great question. Yep.
I would
Well,
argue
and-
from this perspective, from my perspective, it's not the financials, that's number two. Because our role as board members is academic achievement. So our priority is to ensure that we have staff committed from day one to the final day. That would be my opinion.
Totally understood. I just feel that the 7,500 number that's out there is what is causing some anxiety amongst staff and some tense feelings, if you will. So I just wanted to clarify on the $7,500 number.
Dr. Bardo?
All we've been doing is talking, and that's a good thing, but we're supposed to make a motion and then talk, so I'll make a motion. I'm going to,
The motion is on the floor.
what Kristen said,
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Sorry to bother you.
I want to make an amendment
Okay.
to the motion.
amendment. Okay, thank you.
I'm going to say, hopefully what Kristen said is that once they sign their contract, the breakage will be $4,000 until June 30th, and starting on July 1, it will become $7,500.
You said the liquidated damages will be $4,000 until June 30th? And then starting 7/1, the liquidated damages would be $7,500. Okay, we have an amendment to the motion on the floor, and that would be to add to line 12, if you have your contracts open, after it reads, "The teacher agrees to pay liquidated damages in the amount of $75,000." You are amending that statement.
Not 75,000.
Oh, no, not 75,000.
No, I'm not going there.
Please forgive me on that Freudian slip. You are wanting to amend that statement to say the teacher agrees to pay liquidated damages of $4,000 in the event that they would leave the district before June 30th of contract year,
Through June 30th.
through June 30th of contract year, and then beginning 7/1, the liquidated damages for leaving would be $7,500. Is that your amended motion?
Yes.
Okay, so we need to, Dr. Bardo, would you like to speak to your amended motion?
No.
All questions and discussion will be addressed to the amended motion. So you're only going to be discussing the liquidated damages of $4,000 to June 30, through June 30th, and then the liquidated damages beginning July 1 would be $7,500. Any discussion of the amendment?
I think this fits in both. Kelly, when a teacher retires and then we hire someone new at a lower salary, like is that taken into account with the onboarding?
Actually, we need to hold that question because that has nothing to do with the amendment of the 4,000 and 7,000. But hold that question because we'll come back to it.
Okay.
Thank you, Abby. Any questions about the amendment or discussion thereof? Nathan, are you ready? Okay, the voting device is now open. You are voting in favor of the amendment. Angie, can you tell me what your vote is?
I think this sounds like a really good compromise. So I'll just vote yes.
Thank you, Angie. Bobby, you want to try again? Okay, you're good now. Would anyone like to change their vote? All right, the vote is now closed, and the amendment carries. So now that amendment is part of the main motion, which will change that line that's highlighted under item 12. It will read what the amendment is. Abby, I'll come back to your question first. Thank you.
Okay, so when people retire, they're at the top of the bracket of the pay scale usually, and then usually we don't hire people at that same rate. So that difference, does that go into the onboarding costs, or where does it help with it?
It doesn't. But when we made significant increases to our teacher salary scale, because of the fact that we did have a large number of retirements, that quote-unquote difference in salaries, I don't want to say savings, because we really didn't have savings because of the fact that at the bottom of the salary scale for new coming teachers was so low, we increased it drastically, and that increased just the entire salary scale for teachers, so there isn't really a savings in that aspect. And no, it's not calculated in the offboarding and onboarding because it doesn't have to do with onboarding or offboarding. It's not the actual cost of how much it costs to provide professional development to a teacher in the year, and then also to then backfill the amount of training that we have. So if we have a teacher here for 10 years, just tracking that obviously is $10,000 per year of those 10 years. So you have to then add that additional training in, and then so it's not added in as an onboarding or offboarding cost.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions or discussion of the motion that's on the floor? All right, hearing no questions or discussion of the motion on the floor, the voting device is now open. Angie, how would you like to vote?
Yes.
Would anyone like to change their vote? The vote is now closed. And the motion carries with 7 in favor of and 1 opposed. Did you get that in the minutes?
I did.
Okay. Motion carries. Letter B, consideration to approve the health insurance renewal contract for the fiscal year 2026-2027. I will be looking for a motion.
Move to approve the GHT insurance plan options as presented with an overall increase of 8%, including the plan deductible of $7,050 single and $14,100 family, requiring staff electing to take the benefit pay the equivalent of 8.15% of the premium. Support staff hired after 11/16 of 92 with 1,101 to 1,500 hours per year will pay the equivalent of 13.5% of the premium. The plan design for employees will change slightly from $1,650 for single, $3,300 for family deductible to $1,700 single, $3,400 family to comply with IRS regulations for HSA eligibility.
Thank you, Jill, for your motion. Would you like to speak to your motion?
I will defer this to the business office.
Yep.
Thank you.
So I know that sounds like a pretty extensive motion with all kinds of different layers in it, but that has been here since I've been here, and I know that one of the pieces that is really important to our district is to make sure that we maintain as many benefits as we possibly can for our staff. So the only changes that we have made would be the IRS requirements, which you can see that is noted in there. One of the pieces that I'd like to turn attention to is on the sheet, I believe it's 3 of 4. You can see the benefit costs of how much the annual district cost is for a family plan. That's an additional over $24,000 that we put into our staff being able to have those benefits. And the employee cost is about $2,000.
Are we able, can we put that on the screen?
Sure. It
Sorry.
should be available to the public as well, so if they.
We're just coming off a handbook discussion and ensuring that our staff know that they are valued and that we place priority on having high-quality staff. I think we do really strong work with our benefits package, which annual salaries are one thing, but a big part is all the additional benefits. And I just think it would be helpful to have that up on our screen.
Sure.
Because it's something that we offer that's a really good thing.
Yes, and just so people know that it also is public within our board doc, so if you'd like to take a further look at that, and if this flashes quickly on the screen, you can always print that off and look at that.
Page 3, sorry.
Yep, so if you look at the benefit costs, you can see that the family plan, it costs the district over $24,000 to pay for that benefit for our staff, and then the employee cost is about $2,000. And for a single, that is over $9,000 and is less than $1,000 for the employee. If you look at the fiscal impact, last year, we kept these rates, percentages the same for our staff because we did not want them to incur the cost. So the district took the financial impact last year of over $175,000 of increase instead of passing that on to our staff. This year, the fiscal impact is an additional $250,000 that the district is putting into to ensure that the percentages do not go up for our staff. So that's a total of $427,757 over the past 2 years. And that really does summarize what the fiscal impact is, and then our dedication to ensuring that our staff do not see increases in their percentages for their premiums or for their deductible. One of the things that you might see that feels really confusing is that when it says the plan deductible is $14,100 for the deductible, that is not for the employee. That is covered between the difference of $3,400. That's what the employee would pay for that $14,000 deductible. The district pays the remainder. So the entire deductible is $14,000, but the employee only pays $3,400 for their family. If you are a single person, the entire deductible is over $7,000, and the person is only responsible for $1,700 of that deductible. And that's if they meet that deductible. Some people don't even meet that at all.
What's the amount that the employee pays in the $14,000?
$3,400, and the total is $14,100. So that's one of the ways that districts try to save, is by increasing those percentages of the deductible for staff so that they pay more. We did not elect to do that and haven't since I've been here. And also, districts will increase the percentage of the premium that staff pay. We have elected to never do that since this administration has been here either.
Do we also have an HSA contribution for employees?
No. HSAs, we do have available for staff to be able to put in on their own. HSA and HRA gets very confusing, a health savings account. So an HRA is where the money is stored for the extra amount of deductible that's paid. So that's your health reimbursement account. And sometimes people get those confused with the health savings account. One of the things that is a benefit to our staff is that we do qualify as a district, so staff are able to utilize this health savings account, which not all organizations qualify for, and that obviously is a huge tax benefit for our staff.
Thank you.
Deanna, let the record reflect that I recuse myself from this discussion and vote.
I appreciate the work that the business office does and our district does for the employee insurance, health insurance benefits. think we're probably one of the best employers with health insurance benefits. I haven't shopped around per se, but this is quite exceptional, and it's very exciting to be able to offer that for our staff.
Any other questions or discussion of the motion that's on the floor? Okay, hearing no questions or discussion of the motion on the floor, your voting device is now open. Angie, how would you like to vote?
Yes.
We heard that yes. Would anyone like to change their vote? The vote is now closed, and the motion passes. Letter C, consideration to approve the teacher handbook for 2026-2027. I will be looking for a motion.
I move to approve the 2026-2027 Teacher Professional Handbook as presented.
Motion has been made by Dr. Bardo. Would you like to speak to your motion?
No.
Any questions or discussion of the motion that is before you? I do apologize. I know I'm having some technical difficulties occasionally, Nathan, so that's why I'm stalling. I think Bobby's having some issues.
Just a reminder to everyone, there's an attachment that says handbook updates. That has everything from both handbooks that were changed as an easy read.
Questions or discussion of the motion before you? All right, hearing no questions or discussion of the motion before us, the voting device is now open. Angie, how would you like to vote?
Yes.
Thank you. Bobby's device just came apart. No, not yet.
I think she should just take that with her, and so the new board member doesn't have to have that.
Nobody voted?
Bobby will allow you to vocally
Yes.
vote. Okay, would anyone like to change their vote? The vote is now closed, and the motion carries, and the record reflect that Bobby did vote yes. Consideration to approve the support staff handbook for 2026-2027.
I move to approve the support staff handbook for 26-27 as presented.
Motion has been made by Bobby. Would you like to speak to your motion?
Same as with the motion above and the vote, minimal changes, and these were discussed in the HR committee level, so no further questions.
Any other discussions or question of the motion before you?
I just really like that all aides need to have a special education IA license. I think that's important.
Nice.
Any other questions or discussion of the motion before you? Hearing none, the voting device is now open. Angie, how would you like to vote?
Yes.
Thank you. Would anyone like to change their vote? The vote is now closed, and the motion carries. Letter E, consideration to approve the purchase of a new bat wing mower. I will be looking for a motion.
I move to approve the purchase of the new Batwing mower in the amount not to exceed $23,000.
Motion's been made by Abby. Would you like to speak to your motion?
No, we talked about it in committee, and Jake did his research, so we need it.
Any other questions or comments of the motion on the floor to purchase the new bat wing mower? I just like saying that. All right, hearing none, the voting device is now open. Angie, how would you like to vote?
Yes.
right, the vote, would anyone like to change their vote? Vote's now closed, and that motion carries. Letter number F, consideration to approve the second reading of Neola draft policies for the board, volume 35, number 1, and SSO policy updates. I will be looking for a motion, please.
I move to approve the second reading of Neola draft policies for the board, volume 35, number 1, and SSO policy updates as presented.
Motion has been made by Abby. Would you like to speak to your motion?
No.
Any questions or comments of the second reading of these policies? Let the record reflect Dr. Bartle has stepped out. All right, the voting device is now open. Angie, how would you like to vote?
Yes.
Thank you. Would anyone like to change their vote? The vote's now closed. And the motion carries. Letter G, consideration to approve the first reading of Neola Draft Policy 5460, graduation requirements. I will be looking for a motion.
I move to approve the first reading of Neola Draft Policy 5460, graduation requirements.
Motion has been made by Kristen. Would you like to speak to your motion?
We brought it to committee. It is just clearing the air on some issues with the 8th grade algebra to make it all have same requirements no matter where you went to school prior.
Any other questions for the motion before you on the floor or discussion? Hearing no questions, the voting device is now open. Angie, how would you like to vote?
Yes.
Thank you. Would anyone like to change their vote? The vote is now closed, and the motion carries. Letter H, consideration to approve the first reading of the Neola Act 57 policies. I will be looking for a motion.
I move to approve the first reading of the Neola Act 57 policies.
Motion has been made by Kristen. Would you like to speak to your motion?
This too came to committee. There are 4 because it needs to be stated the same way in each portion of the policies, students, administration, support staff. Yeah.
Any questions or discussion of the motion before you? All right, hearing no questions or discussion, your voting device is now open. Angie, how would you like to vote?
Yes.
Thank you. Would anyone like to change their vote? The vote is now closed, and the motion carries. Letter I, consideration to approve the Professional Development 2026-27 Leader in Me program. I will be looking for a motion, please.
I move to approve the 3-year Leader in Me contract in the amount of $95,000.
Motion has been made by Abby. Would you like to speak to your motion?
I have participated in Leader in Me in a different district, and it's really great. But I do think that when we're looking for a new elementary principal, having experience in Leader in Me in a previous district would be very beneficial. So when you are hiring, I think that should be a pretty big priority because it's a lot.
Any other questions or discussion of the motion before you? Jill? Kristen?
Kristen was going to go ahead.
Kristen?
Okay, I was just going to mention that this has a portion of social emotional learning that has been a hot topic in recent years. We had a program in the years past that didn't really fit our district. We needed to get the bare bones figured out first, and I'm happy that we got there, and now we can reintroduce this learning for our students.
Thank you. Jill?
This was brought to committee, and I would just note too that Ms. Stream did a great job identifying and connecting to our strategic plan, which would be within priority area number 1 of our strategic plan. and that the funding for this will be through the Professional Development Fund. It is a one-time cost, and that one-time cost is for 3 years of the program. Did I say that correctly?
Yep.
Any other questions or discussion of the motion before you?
And just to be clear, we're not abandoning any of the work that we've already done. This is not like a new thing. We have PBIS, which is positive behavior and supports, the frameworks, the consequences. I know some people automatically go to the rewards, but it is the matrix of how we act and behave as students, as scholars. This is the next step of empowering our students to become leaders and those leadership skills. So I own my own thinking, I own my own behavior, I own my own choices, and giving that empowerment to them so that they can be more successful, not only on academics and data, that's just one portion of it, but in their life choices and as they move through their educational career.
Thank you, and thank you also for that video of the East Side School in, I believe, South Carolina. Any other questions or discussion of the motion before you? All right, hearing none, your voting device is now open. The record reflect when Dr. Bartle came back. Angie, how would you like to vote?
Yes.
Thank you. Would anyone like to change their vote? All right, the vote is now closed, and the motion carries. Letter J, consideration to approve the Professional Development 2026-27 Solution Tree Program. I will be looking for a motion.
I move to approve the Solution Tree contract in the amount of $298,210.
Motion has been made by Jill. Would you like to speak to your motion?
Yes, this also was presented in committee and connected to our strategic plan priority area number 4. Funding source is professional development is Title II. Title II professional development for the majority of this. This has been, this is year 3. I don't know why I feel very confident on this, yet at the same time I'm just looking for reassurance. Year 3 that we've been working with Solution Tree, so this has been continued. We anticipated year 3, and it is anticipated to complete 5 years total. So we are on year 3 of 5. That funding source is specific, so this is a good use of dollars. And it connects to our strategic plan and student achievement by growing high levels of our teaching staff, and it's on the ground work with the standards, how to use them, how to impact them, align them, reviewing data, and a return on our investment. So we are, there's a word I want and I'm blanking, investing in our staff for the goals of not just staff, but even more so student achievement, and we are seeing returns on our investment with that too.
Thank you. Any other questions or discussion of the motion before you? All right, hearing none, your voting device is now open. Angie, how would you like to vote?
Yes.
Thank you. Would anyone like to change their vote? The vote is now closed, and the motion carries. Consideration to approve the report of donations. I will be looking for a motion, please.
I move to approve the following donations. George and Jean Schinnertz, $1,000 for AHS girls softball. And then donations towards the 4th grade state capital trip from Covantage in the amount of $100, Carl's Transport in the amount of $250, and Johnson Electric Coil in the amount of $500.
Thank you for that motion, Jill. Would you like to speak to your motion?
Thank you to our generous donors, some of whom may be in the audience tonight, for your continued support to our district and for these opportunities for our students. It's very much appreciated.
Any other questions or discussion of the motion that's before you? Your voting device is now open. Angie, how would you like to vote?
Yes.
Thank you. Would anyone like to change their vote? The vote is now closed, and the motion carries. Thank you so much. Item number 6, closed session. Consideration of a motion to adjourn into closed session pursuant to section 19.851C and E of the Wisconsin statutes for the purposes of considering employment, promotion compensation, or evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction to exercise responsibility and for purposes of deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business. Whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require closed session, to wit, A, discussion and possible action on evaluation of district administrator, B, discussion and possible action on compensation of district administrator or administrators, and C, discussion and possible action on the potential sale of 111 Western Avenue. I would be looking for a motion, please.
So moved. Go ahead.
Motion's been made by Catherine. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Jill. Can we have a roll call vote?
Can I speak to the motion?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
I'm just going to speak to the motion to be very open and transparent, that there's not an anticipated sale, there's no discussion of a sale relative to the property at 111 Western Avenue. And I find it important to go into closed session to discuss this because I am just one member of the school board, and I've been very consistent on producing the data and making well-informed decisions for the best outcomes. I think this is a piece of that puzzle. This is not to be misinterpreted in any capacity in which I am saying that there should be a sale at all. However, by having all the information and making decisions on ranges, that allows us to move forward, as opposed to, should that become a discussion point or a need with the task force or committee, at some point, you have those numbers. So I want to be very, very clear that as an individual, I am not seeking or supporting or encouraging the sale of the building. This is a piece of that puzzle to work together to have all the information to make well-informed decisions on what's going to happen.
Thank you, Jill. Any other discussion of the motion on the floor?
I just think it's very hard to vote to go into closed session or not, because obviously, for personnel reasons, yes. But I think, and I wasn't on the board before, but I think the sale or the possible sale should be in public, so it's hard to vote, just saying that.
Let me assure you that in the event, again, this is not happening tonight, but we cannot sell property in closed session.
Okay,
The sale of property will always be in open session.
got it.
Thank you.
It just.
The other thing that I wanted to mention is that as a member of the Aquatic Center Task Force Committee, I feel that it's important that those members have some conversation with the rest of the board. And we have not had a chance to do that at this point. So I do feel that that's beneficial to those that are still serving on the task force.
JD?
The optics of doing it just are so bad. I wish we wouldn't have done it at all. It's like do it in several months or something.
I just think there's a time frame. For me, that's what's important. As one board member, wanting to, I'm hearing you entirely, by the way, community. We have donors, we have people that are ready and willing to put forth contributions, and part of that is having all the information. And do the optics look great? No, but the counter to that is, let's get the ball rolling and not have things that prevent, you get the numbers, you take it to the committee. I don't think it's going to be a priority discussion area. That's just my opinion as one person. But you know that, and it's not going to prevent or stall something where you're going to have schedule another meeting to get that number. Hoping that does not happen, but let's get it out of the way so that way those numbers are available. That's my opinion, at least.
Correct.
Even if you have 4 different board members, couldn't the number change? 3 different, right? Because a new board would have to approve it anyway, so I don't know what we're gaining.
Any other discussion of the motion on the floor? All right, hearing none. Deanna, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Dr. Barto?
Yes.
Bobby Braun? Jill Maddick
Oh,
Nelson?
wait a minute. I didn't hear Bobby's answer.
No.
No. Kristen Matt Miller?
Yes.
Catherine Solon?
Yes.
Abby Maddick?
No. J.D. Schrader?
No.
Danny Pyatt?
Got two members, Jill and Angie.
Oh, I'm sorry. Angie Schreiber?
I'm going to abstain.
Okay. I did call on Jill Maddock Nelson.
She did not give an answer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry if I missed my name.
I did.
Well, what happened was we didn't record Bobby's vote before you
Oh,
said
then
Jill's
I did
name.
that.
Correct.
For the reasons previously stated, yes.
Okay. And Danny Pyatt.
Yes. Deanna, can you read the results of the vote, please?
We have 5 yes, and 3 no, 1 abstain.
We are now in closed session as the motion carries. Thank you.